What's happening? Back again for another devotion. Um, this week, looking at James 1, 2, and 3. The Bible says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance." So, when I first read this particular text, the first thought that ran across my mind was metamorphosis, the process that the butterflies go through. And I'll touch on that in a few minutes. But it also kind of clicked in my head on the whole thought of, winning again, having that joy, that satisfaction, that experience of being down in a tough situation and learning how to win again. See, we face difficult times a lot in our lives, and normally we don't find joy in many of those situations. And difficult times could be something so extreme it just seems so insurmountable that we can't overcome. And then it also can be something really small, but it's just right there in your face, seem like it's nagging you all the time. Most of the time, it is virtually impossible to find anything to be happy, to be joyful about, no matter what the situation is. Often, depending on how bad the situation is, many times we find ourselves borderline depressed, and trying to figure out our way through whatever it is that we're dealing with, just wanting to disappear from it all. So here in this particular text, James is clear in saying that we should consider having joy. We should have joy even while we're going through whatever it is that we're going through. And he says that because it's a part of the process to mature us. It's a refining process to test our ability to believe, and it puts that fight back in us to walk through whatever it is that we're dealing with and learn again to believe that the results will be worth whatever the struggle is. When I think about this process, I think about, like I said before, the process that butterflies go through to become a full adult. See, they have four different stages that they go through in this process of metamorphosis. And metamorphosis is a Greek word which basically translates to transformation. So now, for those that reach adulthood, as far as the butterflies, I mean, it's not an easy process for them at all. However, if they endure, if they find a way to make it through, they go from being viewed as an insect to a beautiful butterfly. See, we go through the same process, the same metamorphosis, if you will, where God is working on maturing us so that we won't lack anything. I have always said to other people that progress without struggle is no progress at all. So it's inevitable that we all have to endure some kind of tough times, no matter what the situation is. Our outlook, however, should be that it's just God's way of taking us from one situation or from one particular item, whatever, that we're going through, and He putting us in a situation where we can get to a stage in our lives where we can be overcomers, where we know that He got us, He's taking care of us. God's vision for us, in essence, is to get us to the stage of being like these beautiful butterflies with a much longer lifeline. So the thing here is embrace your struggle and know that God is up to something. See, with the Lord in control of whatever it is that you're dealing with, you should be able to have confidence in what He's doing and what's going on, and be able to consider it pure joy when you're facing many trials. Again, I believe that this is just God's way of setting it up for us to learn how to win again. We win in a lot of different things in our lives, and then we find ourselves going through a tough time. And it seems like when you up, and then all of a sudden you down, and it's like the world is falling down on you. But what God does is He allows us to go through some things so He can get some stuff out of us and replace that with some things that we need to have in us. And once that process happens again, like this metamorphosis, we get to the point where we win again. We feel like we've overcome. We feel like we're on top of the world. And things appear and feel and look like they're going our way. And so when they feel and look like they're going our way, rest assured they are. And God has his hands all over that. So again, just understand that sometimes when you go through some things that appear to be difficult, it's really God's way of just setting it up for us to learn how to and understand that we can always win again. So never be down on yourself when you're going through a trial or a situation. Embrace it. Find joy in it, because you know that on the end of that thing, that God is setting it up for us to win again. God bless.